A single fluorescent bulb flickered above a narrow maintenance corridor in St. Anne's Research Center, just past midnight. Cleaning custodian, Aaron Malik, a solemn 42-year-old man with graying temples, paused as his rags slipped from tired fingers. He crouched by a low cabinet, heart pounding like a distant drum. Through the half-open door, he spotted a black USB drive perched atop scattered paperclips and dust bunnies. Aaron's breath caught. He whispered, "What is this?" His voice echoed off sterile concrete walls. Hesitant, he reached out, fingertips brushing the polished metal casing. The drive hummed faintly, as though alive. Memories of his late wife's final hospital stay flooded him, her frailty, her hope for a cure. A shiver raced down his spine. He snapped the drive into his palm and felt a surge of warmth. The corridor lights dimmed suddenly, and the distant hum of air vents deepened into an ominous drone. His pulse quickened. The janitor straightened, clutching the drive, eyes wide. In that moment, destiny knocked quietly at his gloves. Aaron stepped into the research wing's antechamber, palms slick with sweat. The corridor's hum turned into a metallic drip, echoing in his skull. He swallowed hard, recalling the night his wife, Layla, gripped his hand and begged for a miracle. The drive felt impossibly warm, pulsing beneath fabric. Overhead, lab doors loomed like silent sentinels. He dared not glance at the security cameras he'd disabled earlier. Each step throbbed with guilt. He had no clearance here. A low red light blinked on a nearby console. Aaron froze, heart thundering. He whispered, "Stay calm." His voice cracked. He placed the drive into his jumpsuit pocket, fingers brushing the cool latch. Mechanical doors hissed open into a sterile lab, where machines hummed in rhythm. Fluorescent panels cast stark white beams over stainless steel countertops. A motion sensor clicked. Aaron's breath came in measured bursts. He forced a steady stride toward the exit. Yet every footfall felt like a drumbeat of destiny. He couldn't shake the thought. Someone left this here, why? And what were they hiding inside? Aaron pressed himself against the cool metal frame as the lab doors slid shut behind him. His heart raced like a piston. He peered through reinforced glass into a vast chamber where researchers in crisp white coats monitored bioreactors bubbling with luminescent fluid. A female scientist paused mid-pipette, eyebrows knitting as she sensed something amiss. Aaron's mind spun. He had never seen this wing before. The drive burned in his pocket. He inhaled, lips trembling as he whispered, "Not here." He edged toward an emergency exit panel, knuckles white against painted steel. A siren wailed, soft, urgent. Shadows quivered on tiled walls. Seconds felt like hours. He glanced back at the drive, wishing it would reveal its secrets then vanish. But this was no ordinary flash drive. It held dreams of cures, maybe too powerful for mortal hands. His palms sweated. He activated the exit panel. The door's latch clicked, and he slipped into a dim stairwell. The siren faded into distant hums. He exhaled, body trembling with both fear and wonder. In the narrow stairwell, concrete steps echoed under Aaron's boots. A flickering exit sign cast wavering light over scuffed walls. He panted, clutching the USB drive as though it were a fragile heartbeat. Memories of Layla's final smile haunted him, hope and fear entwined beneath hospital fluorescence. The drive pulsed again, beating against his thigh as if alive. Aaron paused between flights, pressing his back to the wall, sweat matting his hair. He whispered, "Just get out." His voice cracked like dry glass. A distant clang made him leap, tools dropped somewhere above. Instinct sharpened his senses. He slid the drive into an inner pocket beneath his jumpsuit, securing it against prying eyes. The stairwell staircase spiraled upward toward an exit door painted fire engine red. He ascended, each stride heavy with guilt and adrenaline. At the top, a narrow corridor led to a maintenance hatch. Outside, the city night awaited, cold, indifferent. Aaron exhaled, heart still racing, mind buzzing with questions that demanded answers. Aaron swung open the maintenance hatch into a rooftop alcove. A chill wind whipped through, tugging at his uniform and scattering loose debris. Below, the city's glow blended into amber haze. He ducked beneath a weathered ventilation shaft, heart hammering against ribs. The drive throbbed in his pocket, as if pleading to be seen. He unzipped a side pocket, fingers brushing the latch. Goosebumps rose on his arms. Aaron whispered, "Show me." He pressed the USB into his phone's adapter, carried only for emergencies. The screen flickered, revealing a folder labeled Project IDOS. His eyes widened. Files named Biolume, Ceravax, and Prototype Gamma scrolled past in luminescent text. A distant siren rose. Aaron pocketed his phone, backing away from the hatch before clicking it shut. He pressed an ear against the cool metal, listening to the wind and siren, two worlds colliding. Clutching the drive, he exhaled into the night. Questions burned brighter than city lights. Who hid this here? And was it a gift? Or a trap? Aaron Malik rose before dawn in his cramped third-floor apartment, above St. Anne's backlot. He sat on a threadbare sofa, phone in hand, palm still tingling where the USB drive nestled in his pocket. Rain pattered against a foggy window, dim street lamps casting golden pools on damp asphalt below. He swiped through the folder labeled Project IDOS under soft lead glow. Folder icons blinked on his screen. Biochemist, Janitor, Thermal Matrix. His heart hammered as he scrolled through each encrypted file name. His mind raced back to late nights at his wife's bedside, her hopeful eyes locked on breakthroughs that never arrived. A tremor rattled his fingers as he tapped open. The phone prompted for a password he didn't know. He exhaled, sweat beading on his brow, and whispered, "I need help." Turning toward the door, he grabbed his coat with a determined shake. By the time he reached the street, the rain had stopped, leaving a slick mirror of neon reflections guiding his steps. Aaron arrived at a dimly lit corner cafe where his longtime friend Samir Khan, a 38-year-old male-lit specialist, waited hunched over a steaming mug. The cafe's neon sign buzzed, painting their faces in fractured reds and blues. Samir's sharp eyes flicked to Aaron's soaked collar as he slid into the booth. "You look like hell," Samir said, voice low. Aaron placed the phone on the table. USB drive's glow muted beneath fabric. Rainwater dripped from his coat onto polished wood. Steam curled from both mugs, scent of dark roast filling the air. Aaron whispered, "I found something dangerous." Samir leaned forward, eyebrows knitting. Outside, a motorcycle roared past, tires splashing puddles. Aaron opened the phone folder and passed it over. Samir's fingers hovered, then tapped a file name, biochemist.pdf. The cafe's door chimed behind a late-night customer, tension rippling between old friends. They moved to Samir's compact home office 3 blocks away, walls lined with circuit boards and tangled cables. Aaron set the USB drive into a USB-C hub on Samir's desk. A soft hum rose as Samir's custom rig powered up, RGB light washing the room in pastel hues. Aaron watched code scroll across dual monitors, each line a pulse of potential. He whispered, "Decrypt it fast." Samir's fingers flew across a mechanical keyboard. His brow glistened under lead strips. After 10 seconds, a progress bar blinked. 100%. A folder named Blueprints appeared. Aaron's breath hitched. Samir exhaled slowly, eyes fixed on the screen. Outside, the sky brightened to pale gray, world shifting from night to dawn. A single black raven cawed atop a nearby rooftop, as if heralding what came next. Aaron leaned in, voice trembling. "Show me." On one monitor, a 3D-rendered nanobioreactor rotated slowly against a black backdrop. Intricate latticework of biogas scaffolds gleamed like ice crystals. File labels read, Bioreactor E, Nanoflow Channels, Cortex Patch Design. Aaron's pulse thudded in his ears. He whispered, "This could change everything." Samir zoomed in, revealing microscopic capillaries branching through the gel. The render's lighting simulated subsurface scattering, pale green fluid glowing from within. Aaron swallowed. They engineered living tissue pumps, he said, voice hushed. Samir tapped a keyboard shortcut, bringing up a schematic overlay of genetic vectors. Shadows from monitors danced on the walls. Aaron's mind reeled. Was this miracle or monster? He leaned back, rubbing his temples, and asked, "Who's behind Project Eidos?" Aaron paced the tiny room as Samir cross-referenced file metadata. Creation timestamp 2 nights ago, author ID mask. "This was uploaded after your shift," Samir said, eyebrow raised. Aaron pressed his palm to his forehead, mind racing. Outside, traffic noise swelled with morning rush. He remembered Layla's last words, "Use science to heal, not harm." He tapped open thermal matrix dots revealing heat-activated protein matrices for targeted drug release. Samir pointed to the text. This could deliver medicine cell by cell. Aaron's chest tightened. He exhaled, voice firm, "We need an expert." Samir nodded. "I know someone." He typed a name into the search bar, Dr. Mei Chen, age 45, female biochemist. Aaron met Samir's gaze, resolve hardening. "Let's call her." Aaron Malik dialed Dr. Mei Chen's number at dawn, fingers trembling as the line rang twice before clicking to life. A measured female voice answered, "Dr. Chen speaking." Aaron cleared his throat, voice hushed. "I found files on Project Eidos. Biolumispec thermal matrix." His words tumbled over each other. Dr. Chen's pause crackled urgency. "Meet me at Meridian Biotech 7 a.m. sharp." Aaron exhaled, tension knotting his shoulders. He hung up, heart pounding like a piston. Outside, a pale sun peeked through cloud cover as mist rose off wet pavement. He stuffed the USB drive into an inner pocket of his coat, its warmth pulsing in time with his pulse. Memories of Layla's hope swirled in his mind, science as salvation, not weapon. He whispered to himself, "I have to trust her." With resolve sharpening in his chest, Aaron grabbed his backpack and strode into the awakening city, mind racing with the weight of what he carried, and the promise of what might be unleashed. Aaron arrived at Meridian Biotech's glass facade, its lobby gleaming under LED panels. A polished red carpet led to a reception desk staffed by 2 attendants in navy blazers. He approached, voice taut. "I have an appointment with Dr. Chen." The taller attendant tapped a tablet, eyes flicking to his damp jacket. She nodded curtly and gestured down a chrome-lined corridor. Aaron followed, each step echoing on the marble floor. He passed frosted doors labeled Genetics and Nanotech Division, feeling the drive's weight against his thigh. A silent alarm blinked on one panel. He steadied his breath. Footsteps approached from behind, his own. He spun. Empty hallway. His pulse thundered. He swallowed and pressed on until a glass door etched Dr. Mei Chen slid open before him. He ducked his head inside, palms sweaty, and met her gaze, calm, precise, and unreadable. Dr. Mei Chen rose from behind a minimalist desk, age 45, female, her dark hair pulled into a precise bun. She wore a tailored lab coat over charcoal slacks, expression unreadable. "Mr. Malik," she said, voice steady. "Show me what you have." Aaron extracted the USB drive and placed it on her desk's glass surface. Chen's pale fingers hovered before she tapped a hidden reader. The drive glowed softly as her screen filled with schematics. She studied them in silence. Aaron cleared his throat. "My friend decrypted these." Chen's eyes flicked to him, searching. "You risked everything," she said. He nodded, chest tight. Outside, building HVAC hummed through vents, sterile air mixing with tension. Chen swiped through blueprints of bioreactors and genetic overlays, brow furrowed. After a heartbeat, she looked up. This work must not fall into the wrong hands. Aaron swallowed. "I know." Chen led Aaron through a secured door into a fluorescent-lit lab, rows of bioreactors pulsing with neon fluid. She pointed to one unit labeled Gamma Prototype. "This," she said softly, "is my life's work, controlled tissue regeneration." Aaron approached, stunned by the reactor's gentle undulations. They repair organs cell by cell, Chen continued, voice trembling with pride. But someone modified the code for accelerated growth, too unstable. Aaron peered at the reactor's gel lattice, shifting in waves of green luminescence. "Only breeze, one wire," he whispered. "That's inside my files." Chen turned, eyes dark. "They weaponized it," she said. The lab's overhead fans clicked. Aaron's stomach twisted. "We need to stop them." Chen nodded and activated a console, triggering a red lockdown light to bathe the room. He gripped her arm as sirens began wailing, a sudden, urgent alarm echoing like a heartbeat. Red lights pulsed in the lab as Aaron and Chen ducked behind a stainless steel cart. The siren's wail grew urgent. Chen's pulse raced. She whispered, "They've triggered Protocol Omega. Containment breach." Aaron swallowed. "We need to extract the data and run." She jabbed at her tablet. "This drive holds the key to a failsafe. But downloading that code could fry everything." Sweat beaded on Aaron's brow. "We'll risk it," he said. Chen hesitated, then nodded. Together they sprinted across the glossy floor toward the console, dodging flickering beams of red emergency light. Aaron slid the USB drive into a port. Chen's fingers flew over the touchscreen. The reactor's hum deepened into a roar. He bit his lip as progress bars filled. Seconds stretched to eternity. Then the upload completed. White light burst from the console, flooding the lab. Chen gasped. It worked. Around them tanks stabilized. Alarms ceased. Aaron exhaled, relief and dread mingling in his chest as the weight of what they'd unleashed settled like a storm. Aaron and Dr. Mei Chen emerged from the lab's red glare into a sterile corridor, breaths ragged. Emergency lights pulsed overhead, casting their elongated shadows on polished tiles. "They'll send security," Chen warned, voice low. Aaron's hand hovered at his side. He nodded, teeth clenched. She led him through a side door marked, "Staff Only," revealing a narrow service tunnel lined with exposed pipes and conduit. The air felt damp and cool, dripping condensation onto a grated floor. Aaron's shoes echoed as he followed, every footstep a countdown. Memories of Layla's whispered prayers mingled with the metallic tang on his tongue. The tunnel forked, and Chen paused under a rusted junction box, pressing a hidden panel that slid open to reveal a dim stairwell. "This leads to the sub-basement," she whispered. Aaron swallowed. He could hear distant alarms, the approaching footsteps of men in badges. He drew a steady breath, gripping the USB drive inside his coat, and strode forward. Each step carried them deeper into the underbelly of Meridian Biotech, where secrets festered in shadows. They descended concrete steps into the sub-basement, where fluorescent fixtures hummed overhead. The air smelled of oil and mildew. Dr. Chen scanned a wall-mounted directory, storage, archives, maintenance. She pointed down a narrow hallway leading to a heavy vault door. Aaron's pulse quickened. He remembered the drive's code for failsafe extraction. Chen input a swipe card into a reader. Green light blinked. The vault swung open to reveal steel racks stacked with sealed crates, labeled in clinical print. Behind them a solitary security camera pivoted silently. "We have minutes," Chen said. Aaron stepped inside, eyes scanning crate labels. "Sample at 23, prototype Biolume 2, IDO's archives." He pressed his palm to a crate marked, "IDO's archives." Chen placed a gloved hand on his shoulder. "Whatever we find here could change everything," she whispered. He exhaled, sliding the USB drive's data onto her portable terminal. Outside, footsteps thundered closer. Data transferred in tense silence. Aaron watched progress bars flicker as Dr. Chen's fingers tapped commands. The crates behind them shimmered in flickering light. "Almost there," Chen murmured. Aaron's heart thundered. He glanced at the security camera above the vault entrance. It swiveled toward them. Panic flickered in his chest. Chen whispered urgently, "Hide the drive. then slipped it into a concealed pocket in Aaron's coat. He nodded as the final file downloaded, a failsafe algorithm capable of neutralizing the modified code in the bioreactor. Chen exhaled heavily. "We've got it." A muffled shout echoed down the corridor. Boots pounded the concrete. Aaron straightened. "We move now." They backed toward the vault door in tandem, eyes locked on the blinking camera. Every second stretched like a drawn blade above their heads. Aaron and Chen slipped out of the vault, just as a pair of security officers rounded the corner. The officers' flashlights cut through the gloom, illuminating crates and steel beams. One barked, "Hold it!" Aaron froze. Chen lunged forward, grabbing his arm. "This way," she hissed, pulling him toward an adjacent maintenance hatch. They ducked inside and slammed it shut, plunging into darkness. The hatch's latch scraped metal as Chen fumbled with her phone's flashlight. Aaron's chest heaved. He whispered, "They saw us." Chen shone a beam down a narrow duct. "We can crawl to the east wing," she said. Aaron swallowed. The duct's metal walls were slick with condensation, its length uncertain. Outside, the officers' voices drifted away, then returned, softer, searching. Aaron nodded and slid into the cramped duct behind Chen, shoulders hunched. The door rattled above them as they vanished into shadows. They crawled through the duct on hands and knees, metal grating scraping their clothes. Chen paused at a junction, voice barely audible. "Left leads to HVAC shaft." Aaron followed, sweat matting his hair. The duct sloped downward, rattling with each movement. Gowled whispers echoed below, muffled by metal. Aaron's mind raced with Layla's final hospital nights, and the code's potential to heal thousands. Was this worth the danger? Chen crawled ahead, pressing a vent cover loose with a soft grunt. She pivoted to him, face illuminated by a thin slice of light. "Here, Baota." She gestured toward a service corridor where dawn's pale light filtered through high windows. Aaron exhaled, relief flooding him. He brushed sweat from his brow and stood, helping Chen through the opening. Together they stepped into the East Wing's empty corridors, the weight of what they carried heavier than the dawn air. Aaron and Dr. Chen emerged into Meridian Biotech's underground parking garage as dawn's first light filtered through grated windows. Exhaust fumes curled around their ankles, while distant echo of security boots faded. Aaron's chest heaved beneath his damp coat. The USB drive burned in his inner pocket. Chen motioned to a black sedan, idling near a concrete pillar. Its headlights were off, engine ticking with cooling metal. "That's our ride," she whispered, voice low. Aaron approached, scanning the rows of identical vehicles and structural columns, heart pounding like machinery. He slid into the passenger seat. Fernando Vargas, age 50, male driver, blazer and tie, offering only a curt nod. Chen dropped beside him, closing the door softly. The sedan lurched forward, tires squealing on damp concrete as they navigated the maze of pillars toward the exit ramp. Aaron pressed his palm to the drive's pocket, wondering if this next move would save lives or doom them all. The sedan climbed the ramp into a rain-slicked alley behind an abandoned warehouse. Thunder rumbled as cloud cover thickened. Chen leaned forward, eyes on the rearview mirror. "They know we escaped the vault." Aaron's knuckles whitened on the seat. Outside, neon signs flickered, half-broken letters spelling Mercury Freight. Vargas parked under a rusted canopy, engine idling. Chen whispered, "We transfer vehicles here." Aaron nodded, heart hammering against his ribs. Vargas killed the engine. The world plunged into humid gray. Aaron's reflection wavered in tinted glass as he opened his door and stepped onto puddle-strewn concrete. He looked to Chen, rain beginning to patter. Each drop tapped like warning bells. Together they moved toward a rival black SUV, waiting beneath flickering sodium lamps, aware that every shadow could conceal pursuers. Inside the SUV, Aaron clasped the USB drive as Vargas merged onto a deserted service road, flanked by chain-link fences. Wind whipped rain against the windshield. Chen pulled her coat tighter, voice measured. We must reach my safe house before they trace us. Aaron swallowed, peering at the drive's metal casing. Memories of Layla's hospitaled prayers echoed in his mind. Vargas eased over a speed bump. The SUV's tires hissed. Lightning flickered in the distance. Aaron leaned toward Chen. What happens then? She met his gaze in the rearview mirror. We'll upload the failsafe to the global network. Scientific community can verify and halt any misuse. Her words landed like stones in his chest. He exhaled, nodding. The SUV accelerated, disappearing into rainy haze as dawn's light dimmed beneath gathering storm clouds. The SUV pulled into a secluded garage spanning 3 floors of a nondescript building. Chen led Aaron up a dim stairwell lined with flickering fluorescence. Their footsteps echoed through concrete halls. At the top, she swiped an encrypted key card on a steel door. It opened to a sparse loft bathed in soft morning light from high windows. Steel shelves held lab equipment and locked cabinets. A long workbench dominated the room, its surface scattered with cables and laptops. Chen placed the USB drive on the bench. This is where we finalize, she said. Aaron felt the weight of the moment. Every life hinged on the code. He swallowed hard, voice firm. Let's begin. Chen nodded, plugging the drive into a secure terminal as distant thunder rumbled once more. Aaron watched Chen's fingers fly across the terminal as code scrolled upward. The failsafe algorithm integrated seamlessly with the modified bioreactor code. Progress bars advanced steadily beneath his tense gaze. Outside, rain pounded the roof in rhythmic drumming. Chen glanced up. We have one shot to broadcast this to secure servers worldwide. Her voice trembled with urgency. Aaron pressed a hand to her shoulder. Do it. Hit execute. Lines of green text flooded the screen. Upload complete. Failsafe deployed. A breathless silence fell. Then the terminal emitted a soft chime. Chen exhaled, voice soft. It's done. Aaron slumped beside her, relief and exhaustion flooding his veins. Behind them the morning storm eased, light breaking through charcoal clouds as they realized they'd given the world hope, and possibly a way forward. Morning light filtered through narrow blinds in the safe house loft, as Aaron Malik and Dr. Mei Chen sat hunched over 2 glowing laptops. Rain had ceased overnight, and the storm's hush pressed against the window panes. News channels flickered across screens, broadcasting urgent bulletins about an unprecedented medical breakthrough dubbed IDO's protocol. Aaron's heart pounded as he recognized schematic fragments from the USB drive displayed on national news graphics. He whispered, "They're calling it a miracle, but no one knows the cost." Chen rubbed her temples and glanced at encrypted terminal logs, her brow furrowed. "The world will demand answers," she said quietly. A soft chime alerted them to new messages, flooding their secure inboxes from international labs, hospitals, and government agencies. Each ping felt like a heartbeat racing toward unknown consequences. Aaron exhaled slowly and met Chen's eyes. "We've done the right thing," he said, voice steady despite the tremor in his chest. Chen nodded, though her gaze lingered on a terminal window showing traces of residual rogue code still active in Meridian's network. Tension coiled between them like a living thing, reminding them that the fight was far from over. Chen tapped at her encrypted console, isolating residual fragments of the modified bioreactor code still residing on Meridian's server. Aaron watched over her shoulder as code segments scrolled like falling rain. Outside, distant sirens and morning traffic blended into a restless hum. Chen's fingers paused on the keyboard. "We need to purge every trace before someone reverse engineers it," she said softly. Aaron nodded, adrenaline coursing through his veins. He opened a secure comm channel to Samir, who confirmed a temporary network backdoor into Meridia's mainframe. "You have 5 minutes," Samir's voice crackled. Chen set a countdown timer. Aaron closed his eyes and inhaled, recalling Layla's final plea that science serve life, not destruction. The timer began its final 10-second descent. Chen hit enter. Lines of red text turned white, indicating successful deletion. Aaron exhaled in relief, but Chen's gaze remained fixed on the console, wary of hidden backups or deep-rooted logs that might survive. Under a slate-gray sky, Aaron and Chen approached the deserted Mercury freight warehouse, its rusted roller door half open. They slipped inside, flashlights flickering over dusty crates and scattered pallets. The scent of oil and decay hung in the air. Chen scanned a faded blueprint from her tablet. "The backup hub is in that corner," she whispered, pointing to reinforced steel cabinets. Aaron's boots crunched on broken glass as he followed her. A single overhead bulb buzzed, casting long shadows that danced across corrugated walls. He felt the weight of every moment. One misstep could trigger alarms or worse. Chen crouched beside a locked cabinet and used a portable EMP device to disable its security system. The lock clicked open. Inside, blinking network nodes awaited their final command. Aaron plugged in a data cable and prepared to purge any remaining code. His pulse thundered as Chen stood watch in the gloom. Aaron's gloved fingers hovered over the final purge command as Chen checked perimeter with her flashlight beam. He pressed execute. Instantly, blinking nodes powered down one by one, their indicator lights fading to black. A distant mechanical whir suggested the building's security elevator activating. Chen grabbed Aaron's arm. "Time's up," she hissed. They backed toward the door as the warehouse came alive, with sudden echoing footsteps. Shadows lengthened. Aaron slipped the data cable into his pocket and followed Chen through a side exit into a narrow alley. Rain began to fall in loose sheets, water sluicing across corrugated steel walls. The warehouse doors behind them slammed shut with a resounding clang. They paused under a dripping overhang, breath visible in cold air. Aaron met Chen's eyes. "We made it," he said, voice raw. Chen offered a small, weary smile as they merged into the damp morning haze, the warehouse ominous silhouette receding behind them. On a silent street corner, Aaron and Chen paused beneath a flickering street lamp as dawn broke into pale gold. Their coats were plastered with rain, breaths forming clouds in the crisp air. Aaron pressed his palm to the USB drive concealed in his jacket pocket, its purpose fulfilled yet still heavy with promise. Chen exhaled slowly, voice soft. "The world knows now. There's no turning back." Aaron looked toward the rising sun, memories of Layla's final smile warming his chest. "We gave people hope," he said. Chen nodded, her eyes reflecting new determination. Behind them, distant traffic and early morning joggers resumed the rhythm of life. As they parted ways, Chen disappearing into the eastbound metro station and Aaron turning toward the Riverwalk, they carried the weight of dawn's fragile promise and the knowledge that true healing would demand vigilance long after this quiet moment passed. Aaron Malik stood on the Riverwalk as dawn's golden light shimmered over gentle currents. He traced Layla's favorite bench where she once watched cranes drift across water under hospital windows. A soft breeze carried distant church bells and morning mist. Aaron's palms itched where the USB drive slept in his coat, its purpose fulfilled, but its memory burned into his bones. He whispered into the hush, "Layla, we did it." His words drifted upward like prayers. He remembered her laugh and the way sunlight danced on her hair. Across the walkway, joggers and cyclists passed without noticing his silent reverie. His chest tightened with both grief and hope as news alerts pinged on his phone detailing global trials of the iDose protocol. He exhaled, letting the river's rhythm soothe his trembling heart. Aaron straightened, spine stiffening with resolve. The world would change today, and he, once a silent custodian, would carry Layla's legacy forward. Dr. Mei Chen arrived at a packed conference hall where scientists and journalists gathered under high vaulted ceilings. Banners proclaimed Global Health Summit 2025. She stepped onto the stage at 10 a.m. sharp, her lab coat crisp badge glinting under spotlights. Cameras snapped as she approached a sleek lectern. Chen cleared her throat, voice steady. "Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era in regenerative medicine." The audience hushed. Behind her, A giant screen displayed luminescent nanobioreactor renders from Project Eidos. Chen's gaze swept the crowd. Age 42 male Aaron Malik seated in the front row, eyes bright with anticipation. She continued, "Thanks to collaborative courage, we can heal organs cell by cell." Applause rippled through the hall. Chen steadied herself, every heartbeat echoing her responsibility. As she spoke, Chen invoked the memory of late partners lost to disease, her words uniting hope and caution in equal measure. Aaron stood before a cluster of international delegates during a break in the summit. Rain-slicked courtyard visible through glass walls. He clutched a steaming cup of coffee, his reflection dancing on polished tiles. Delegates from 3 continents exchanged languages as he approached Dr. Chen's colleague, Ambassador Luis Ortega, age 52 male, in a navy suit. Aaron's voice was calm. "The code needs open-source scrutiny to prevent misuse." Ortega nodded gravely, folding his arms. Behind them, banners fluttered in a light breeze entering through automatic doors. Aaron described failsafe protocols and proposed a global oversight council. Ortega stroked his chin, eyes thoughtful. Rain began to patter against the glass. Aaron met Ortega's gaze. "This is our chance to honor Layla's dream." Ortega exhaled, a soft promise in his voice. "We'll convene a task force by week's end." Aaron's heart swelled with cautious optimism and the weight of new responsibilities. Late afternoon, sun slanted through tall windows in Dr. Chen's new open-plan lab, where engineers and biologists huddled around bioreactor prototypes humming softly. Aaron toured the space with Chen, gesturing to rows of incubators rippling with the biogas helped save. She paused by a vessel labeled Layla Memorial Batch, its pale green fluid shimmering. Chen whispered, "We developed cures here." Engineers nodded as Aaron asked questions about genetic vector safety. He traced the fluid's subtle pulsations with his eyes. A young researcher approached, age 29 female, offering Aaron a sample vial under sterile gloves. "Thank you for giving us this chance," she said. Aaron accepted the vial with reverence, voice hushed. "It's for everyone who fought too hard." The lab's hum softened into cohesive hope. In that moment, Aaron felt Layla's spirit guiding their hands toward tomorrow's cures. As dusk fell, Aaron returned to the Riverwalk where he had first held the USB drive. Street lamps flickered on, their halos dancing on cobblestones. He held the vial from Dr. Chen's lab, its contents glowing with promise. Across the river, lights winked on in hospital wards. Aaron pressed the vial to his chest and whispered, "This is for you, Layla." A gentle breeze carried the scent of night-blooming jasmine. He pocketed the vial and walked toward a riverside bench, settling into its familiar embrace. His silhouette merged with the evening's calm, a man transformed from custodian to guardian of life's fragile flame. The lights across the water shimmered like stars, each one a heartbeat saved by science and sacrifice. Aaron closed his eyes, voice barely audible, "Well, keep fighting." And under the hush of night, hope rippled outward, unbroken.